Do I think veterans are stupid when it comes to the VA disability claim process? And the answer is twofold, okay? The answer is no. Objectively, the answer is no. And objectively, the answer is yes, but it depends on some context, and that's what I'm going to dive into today. If you get value from the channel, like, subscribe, share, do all the things, help me get the word out. That's what we're trying to do. I'd appreciate it. So, are veterans stupid when it comes to the VA disability claims process? The answer is no in the beginning. Okay, veterans don't know what they don't know. You do not know what you do not know. Therefore, it is not your fault. Is the VA claims process complicated? I would say no. I could totally see how someone would say yes. But for instance, if you are active duty submitting a BDD claim, you don't know anything. You don't know whether to go to a VSO. You don't even know what conditions you can claim, what conditions you cannot claim. There's just things that you don't know. You do not know that you need the in-service event, you need the current diagnosis, and you need the Nexus. So are veterans stupid? The answer is no, especially for initial claims, okay? Now, what happens is you're denied, this happens, that happens, maybe years go by from the last time you filed, or maybe you've never filed and you've been out for 5, 10, 20 plus years, okay? Then it becomes, all right, well, what's needed for a claim? What decision, what happened in your head to prompt you to submit that VA disability claim, especially with a time frame comes into play. This is where veterans really need to be responsible and take accountability for that VA claim. You are your best advocate. So you do some research, you find a VSO, you submit some claims, easy does it. Maybe you're service connected, maybe you're denied. Now, what happens follow on after that? Let's say you're denied or you're at 80% and you're looking for an increase. Then the question becomes, okay, now are veterans stupid when it comes to VA disability claim process? For instance, you've been denied, you have to submit a supplemental appeal. Now you know you need new and relevant evidence, okay? New and relevant evidence for that claim. And let me just stop right here because we have to address something. Ignorance is over here, stupidity is over here. So if you were denied because you did not have a diagnosis, self-diagnosis means nothing. It means absolutely zero, zip, nada. Self-diagnosis does not mean anything. So if you were denied because you were not diagnosed, then you watch YouTube, you go to Facebook groups, you go to Reddit, whatever, and then you do what those people tell you to do without them looking at your decision letter, without them looking at any type of evidence whatsoever, and then you just do what people on the internet tell you to do. I'm gonna call you stupid, okay? You have to take responsibility and accountability of your own claim, especially when we're talking about increases and appeals. The reason why claims consulting companies are so successful is because they go after those easy increases and those mental health type claims. That's the secret to their success, right? They have a solid business model, obviously I disagree with, but that is what makes them successful, is veterans' ignorance, right? Because we don't know what you don't know. You may not understand how to Google mental health 38 CFR ECFR, read about 2-3 paragraphs and figure out where you fall at in the scale. You may not know that, and that's totally okay. The issue is when you do know that, when you do know why you were denied, and instead of getting hard medical evidence, not lay statements, not personal statements, not he say, she say, I'm talking about medical evidence, and you submit that presumptive condition without a diagnosis, and you know you need a diagnosis, but you submit it anyways, you fall into the stupid category. But generally speaking, like 98% of all veterans that submit claims just don't know. So the answer is no, veterans aren't stupid, okay? Are there dumb veterans out there that are clogging up the system? 1,000,000,000% that happens every single day. What can you do about it? Nothing, right? Just make videos and post them on YouTube about it. But if you don't know what's needed for a claim, I'm about to tell you what's needed, okay? The only thing that matters are the big three. What your friend tells you you need, what YouTube tells you you need, hello, what Facebook tells you that you need, what Reddit tells you that you need, none of it means anything. The only thing the VA cares about is the big three. So when I say evidence, I'm talking about the big three. Number one is that in-service event. You need evidence from service. Medical evidence would be the standard. That would be up at the top, okay? But who goes to medical while they're in the service? The answer is very, very little, okay? But everyone has some form of medical evidence. Everyone does. Because you had an entrance exam and you had an exit exam. Those two can be compared off each other. So yes, everyone does have some sort of medical evidence at a minimum, okay? At a very, very minimum. But there's also evidence other than medical. Training accidents, deployments, you name it, okay? Assaults, car accidents that happened off duty, anything that happened off duty, doesn't matter. You're a Marine 24/7, soldier 24/7, airman, seaman, whatever floats your boat there, okay? Seaman was a joke, I'm sorry. That's the in-service event. You absolutely have to have the in-service event. If there's no in-service event, you will be denied. Fact. The second thing you need, number 2 on that list, is the current diagnosis. Yes, you need a chronic and current diagnosis. Current meaning within 1 year, and chronic, the definition of chronic is 1 year of symptoms. That part is a little subjective, okay? But at a minimum, you need documented symptoms that would lead your provider or the examiner to give you a diagnosis for VA rating purposes. So let's say 6 years ago you fell down and scraped your knee. That is not a chronic diagnosis. You can get over it, okay? Let's say you had a training accident and you're wearing your plate carrier, your flak jacket. You fell off the truck and you hurt your back. You went to medical to go get X-rays. You know, there was no diagnosis given during the X-rays, but you had physical therapy while you were in. And now all of a sudden there is a lower spine condition that you can claim. Now you have the in-service event, okay? You have current X-rays because now you have this back diagnosis. You have current documented evidence. Maybe you're doing physical therapy again, whatever that looks like for you. Boom, now you're ready to go because you have the in-service event and the current diagnosis. Yes, those are required, okay? Those are required, not optional. The third thing you need, and this will be given to you by the examiner, is the Nexus. You'll hear people say DBQ, which is Disability Benefits Questionnaire. All the DBQ is it's to be filled out by the C&P examiner or your provider. They fill that out. They review your evidence. So they look at your evidence from service. They look at your current evidence. They document your current symptoms. And then based on the DBQ, they shoot that over to the VA, and there's a system that spits out a percentage automatically. The DBQ becomes the foundation of the Nexus. The Nexus links your in-service event and your current diagnosis to military service. That's what the Nexus does. The DBQ, the in-service event, and the current diagnosis is the foundation of that. The Nexus would be the house, so to speak. That's it. That's the big three. Anything outside the big three doesn't matter. If you have a lower back condition right now and you have absolutely, and I mean absolutely, zero evidence from service, whether medical or evidence other than medical, 9.9 times out of 10, it's going to be denied. You have to have the in-service event, the current diagnosis, and the Nexus. Are veterans stupid? The answer is no. Are there stupid veterans out there? I think that answer is yes.